The Great Glen Way is an 80-mile long-distance trail in Scotland. I hiked this trail solo with nothing but my tent and my bag in late September and into October of 2023. It runs coast to coast from Fort William to Inverness, following the Caledonian Canal and the major natural fault line of the Great Glen. The route offers mostly low-level walking, but still has its challenges of isolation and steep inclines throughout the hike. Whether lochside or up high, be prepared for dramatic views of expansive landscapes as the way runs along the complete lengths of Loch Lochy, Loch Oich and Loch Ness. I met some genuinely wonderful people on this hike, encountered many adorable animals, and trekked through woods, over hills and along lochs with incredible scenery. The weather was dynamic, to be expected as it's Scotland in autumn, and the Great Glen Way truly offers everything. Designated as one of Scotland's great trails and one of my personal favourite long-distance hikes, so I hope you enjoy this adventure. Morning guys, guess what happened again? So I woke up and noticed there was another hole from another mouse, or the same mouse or something, so my plan to deter them didn't work. They'd chewed a hole in my bag, and the bag that I kept the food in, and they'd only gone for one of the cup of soup sachets, and that's it. There was like no other food that they went for in there, so yeah. Even though like I'd wrapped it well, I'd sprayed my that insect repellent to repel. I know they're not insects like I said, but I've heard that they don't like the citronella smell, so to mask the smell of the food, because I wasn't going to leave, well, if I left my food outside it would be wet, because it was like a storm. It was like it was chucking it down last night, so didn't really know what else to do. So I'm a bit annoyed at that. There's no sign of the mouse. I can't actually see. I've had a look around, so it must have left the same way it came in, I'm hoping. But anyway, I'm gonna start getting ready and packed up. I've just spent about half an hour mending the holes in my bag and the holes in my tent. Word of advice: always carry a little sewing kit with you for things like this. So I've, you know, sewn that up. It's not the prettiest or the neatest, but it's sewn up. So's the other one, and I've you know, sealed the holes in the tent as well. So there's 3 holes in the tent and 2 holes in my bag. So I'm not happy about that, obviously, but I mean, what can I do at this point? So yeah, I'm gonna start getting ready now. It's getting on a bit late now. As always, leave no trace. That's where my tent was. As you can see, there's absolutely no rubbish around. I've even picked up some rubbish around the area, like some of discarded earphones, and just in case you're wondering, this is the bag. They're the earphones I picked up as well, of the rubbish of the food that the mice got into, and I had to move outside of my tent. I weighed it down with a rock so it wouldn't blow away, in an effort to distract the mice or something, or move them away from my tent. It clearly didn't work. Anyway, like I said, I'd move it in the morning because I don't litter, you know, leave no trace, obviously. And ooh, cool, like mushrooms everywhere. Yeah, there's a couple of fire pits about. Obviously I didn't have a fire, I wasn't planning to anyway, too wet for it, even if I wanted to. So I don't think that's mine, but obviously I'll pick it up. So I'll just find a bin for this, have a wee somewhere, fill up my water, and then I'll get going. So I booked in only about half an hour ago at a youth hostel. I think it's called like Loch Ness Youth Hostel in Invermoriston. So, oh yes, the sun! Yeah, so booked in at that youth hostel in Invermoriston, so that's a 20-mile day, and it's already 10, just after 10. But that wasn't even my fault. I was ready to go. I would have been ready to go about 8:30, 9, you know. Had to wait for the rain to stop because it was torrential, and oh, look how gorgeous it is here. It was torrential, and I spent a good half hour patching up the holes that the mice made, so yeah, sewing all that up. That's where I ate last night. The Eagle Barge. It was lovely. It's so nice and warm, toasty, cozy. I'd definitely go again. And I had that massive plated nachos with just one glass of red wine, and I think altogether that was £13 something. It was a large glass of wine as well, so not too bad for prices, because I think the nachos were £10.50, so yeah, it would have come to £13.50. So that was lovely. And as you can tell, a little rainy today, as it has been this whole time. But despite, you know, the mice last night, despite the 3 holes in my tent, the 2 holes in my bag, and the 2 holes that I found also in this coat, which I'll show you guys later, they're only small, in my waterproof coat, despite all those, as well as my food being eaten by the mice, and you know, having to throw some of that away, and spending ages this morning cleaning up the drop-ins and sewing the holes. Like, I'm actually in a good mood. Like, I'm in a really good mood. I'm got a really weirdly positive mindset at the minute, which obviously is a good thing, but I'm just like, despite what's happened, I don't know, I'm not even like, I'm slightly annoyed by it, but I'm not discouraged by it. So, but yeah, I thought to myself, you know what, I'm going to see if there are any hostels open, because I need to dry off my tent before I put it up again. Ideally I could put it up as it is, but it'll just be a bit damp and unpleasant. Anyway, I found this one, and I think it was £22 in a 6-bed shared dorm, just to check that my booking went through, because I've had it before when, you know, places haven't received bookings through booking.com. So yeah, I just want to call to confirm it's pay on arrival as well, so, because I've not actually paid for it yet. So yeah, I'm gonna call that and just see what happens, and aim to do my 20-mile day. So probably honestly be dark by the time I get there, because it's nearly 10:30 now, sensing a pattern here. And yeah, let's say like 2 miles an hour, so that's 10 hours, so that's like what, 8 o'clock. So we'll see. Either way, I'll call to confirm, and I'll just be happy to have a roof over my head tonight. Oh yeah, I didn't mention, so today I'll be approaching Loch Ness, which is the smallest loch that I'm going to be passing on the trail, and I really wanted to walk along the right hand side of it. So you're walking northbound on the right side, instead of on the left, that takes you to Invermoriston. But apparently between 2022 and 2024, it's currently 2023, apparently that section is closed for maintenance or repair or construction. I really don't know. So that's what I read online, so that's what I'm expecting, but a part of me is still hoping that it's open. But honestly, I think I'm just gonna have to walk to Invermoriston. It's just a bit annoying because it's a bit of a longer walk to Invermoriston. It's like a zigzag, steep uphill and downhill path, whereas along the other side of Loch Ness it's straight and flat, and you're doing some Lochside walking. So that's what I would have preferred, but it's out of my control, so that's the plan. I'm just worried about it taking me a bit longer today, considering I have 20 miles to go. It's such a cute little spot. It's nice and sheltered, and it looks like these have been laid here on purpose, so maybe someone has come here before and had a little camp or a bivvy. Loads of mushrooms everywhere as well. Look at them. One guy. And as you can see, I'm still carrying the rubbish bag with me. I just tied it to my bag
until I find a bin. Yeah, this is gorgeous here. I love these woodlands. Yeah, so unfortunately there's a diversion, like I said, so I can't go the way I wanted to until December 2024, so I'm gonna have to go the longer way. So here you've got the Caledonian Canal and then Loch Ness. Also, my throat's much better. It was really sore the other day, well, for the past few days, but yesterday morning when I left the Highland Bridge Hotel, it was sore then. I took a few ibuprofen before my breakfast, and since then it's not been sore at all, so that's good because it was really doing my head in. I couldn't really speak properly or eat or drink or swallow. Okay, so I'm a bit of a dilemma. I've just gone into and come out of Invermoriston, and the way that the route is supposed to take me, it's blocked again, and there's another diversion, but it's like pretty much an extra 2 or 3 miles, and I've got 17 miles to walk on top of that. So that's going to be over 20 miles from here, not even from back there. So from back where I stayed last night, it was 20 miles. So really it's going to be like 23, 24. So I might have to catch a bus so I skip the diverted route, because as far as it's telling me on Google, buses are still running down this road here. So I'm going to see if I can. Yeah, I didn't want to, but if it means that, you know, I won't get there at near midnight tonight, then I'd rather just get like a quick 10-minute bus journey just to cut out this little section, and then from Fort Augustus just head on from there. Okay. Fort Augustus, so there's one about 20 minutes it looks like. So it goes to Strava, but obviously I'm not going to do that because that's just cutting out a day and a half entirely. So there's this sheltered, like the default light on the wall, makes sense. Oh my god. Interesting. That vandalism though, unicorn is beautiful by the way. Oh my god. Are you alive or just existing? That's so deep. Bloody hell. Did a college student write that or something? Anyway, yeah. So just waiting here for about 20 minutes. Hopefully a bus bloody shows up. I'll only be on it for about no longer than 10 minutes, just to cut out that section and then head on from there.
Given that there were so many detours due to construction works in the area, I was forced to make such decisions, and at first I felt guilty for doing so, but I had to remind myself that this is my adventure, and facing obstacles like these were all a part of it. I was able to rest and take a break on this short ride and enjoy the landscape from another perspective, and it turned out to be the right decision as everything just worked out quite nicely following this.
So I skipped the long diversion as, like I said, I would have gotten to the hostel close to midnight. So I was dropped off Fort Augustus, and now it's just road walking until there's a path that rejoins the trail, which is through there somewhere. Also, super exciting, this is Loch Ness, just at the start of the southern head. So that's really awesome. Never been to Loch Ness before. By the way, just a word of advice for anyone who would need to get a bus in this area on the via the CityLink bus. If you book online, it's probably best to book online. I booked like 2 minutes. I literally booked mine like 2 minutes in advance before the bus was due to turn up. It was 5 minutes late, but it doesn't matter. Apparently, if the bus is full, they can just turn people away if you've not booked a ticket, because luckily I heard from some of the people who were waiting at the bus stop with me, some really nice local hikers and everything, and they were just saying to everyone like, oh, make sure you book your ticket, and I was like, what? And for those wondering, the bus fare was £5.80 for an adult single. That's amazing. A rainbow over Loch Ness. Oh my god. This is the point where the official trail meets where I am, so comes down from down there and carries on along here. So back on Great Glen Way. Skip that bloody diversion.
Invermoriston Bridge is a 19th century bridge designed by Thomas Telford, one of nearly 1,000 bridges by Telford in Scotland in the early 1800s as part of a plan to improve Highland communications and build the parliamentary roads. 2 stone arches straddle the Rushen River, which is known for its salmon runs, where if you're lucky enough to go at the right time, observers can watch salmon leap through the river. It was a Friday on this day, but I was told that if you wanted a real show, to visit on a Tuesday, as every Tuesday the dams upstream at Dundragan open and the waters below can be fierce and dramatic. I stopped at St Columba's well for a few minutes and read about the mysterious legend that surrounds it. It's believed that the well, or the spring, has been on the site since the early Pictish times. Until the 6th century AD, the water was considered to be poisonous, causing boils and ulcers to appear if splashed on the skin. St Columba, on his way to visit Brud, a great king of the Picts, drove out the evil spirits around the well and blessed for all time the water coming from it. The water was then clean and pure and was said to have great curative powers. There's more information on Columba himself and the well, so if you're interested in reading about him, then just pause as I'm going over the information boards. This is St Columba's well. Apparently people believe this may be the origin of Loch Ness, and what's interesting is this could just be folklore, but how cool is this? That apparently Columba witnessed the first formally recorded sighting of the Loch Ness monster in 565, so that's the year. How amazing is that? 565 AD. Yeah, so if you want to read any of this, just pause on these bits. I think I'll nip in here for a pint if there's room, and then I'll push on the next however many miles. I think it's like 5 or 6 or 7 miles to the hostel.
Blue dew, blue moon, kinda mysterious, shaded with someone I'm not really into. Do you need to fix it? Talking bullshit. It's hard to see you when your eyes look dull. Who's gonna save you? Who's gonna make you not blue? Not blue. Blue dew, bad mood, sorta whippy and jaded, but let's not talk about you. Your coyote song on a rerun. been one or two since I ran into you. Do you need a picture? Well, that gets old. It's hard to take one when your iPhone's full. Who's gonna save you? Who's gonna make you not blue? Not blue. Not blue.
I spoke to the lady who managed the pub that I stopped for a pint in Invermoriston, and she asked me, because she knew I was doing the Great Glen Way, and she was like, aren't you annoyed by all the diversions? Because I've had people come in and complain about them, and I'm like, yeah, I've literally had to like skip a part, 10-minute bus ride just so I get to my place on time, because I couldn't walk the way that I was supposed to, which is really annoying. You know, I would have made it on time, definitely, you know, without doing that. Obviously I had to get the bus a little bit, just a few miles down the road, because it was an A road, and yeah, not very walkable. I did do some road walking today though. It was a little bit scary. So it's kind of validating to know that other hikers are, you know, taking a hit from the diversions. Obviously not in a good way, but not even in a gratifying way, just in a, yeah, okay, that's fine, we're all in the same boat sort of thing. So it makes me feel a little bit better about it. Glad I did that anyway, because I'm only about 10-15 minutes away from the hostel, and if I hadn't have done that before, and if I had taken the route diversion, I wouldn't be at this point where I am right now until, I don't know, maybe, I reckon just after sunset, and I'm about an hour and a half away from sunset at the minute. So I reckon it would have set me back about a couple hours. And to be honest, I don't fancy walking this track at night. I'm fine usually. It just depends on how I'm feeling about these things, about walking in the dark at night, because I've done it before, obviously. You know, I've done night hiking before, and I've gone through the forest near Lady Bower Reservoir in Edale in the Peak District, walked through there at night to get some water from the lake, and that was creepy, just with the torch through these dense woodlands. And as a horror fan, you would not believe the scary images of creatures and people and monsters and ghosts and stuff that I have stored up there. So yeah, it's definitely scary. Much rather get to this hostel in the daytime so I can actually see Loch Ness from there as well. Otherwise I'd be getting there at dark, and then I'd be leaving in the morning, probably only see it for breakfast. So as long as I get there while it's light and just see Loch Ness through there. I've gotten some really good views of it today actually, but I think that's because I didn't take the route diversion, because I looked on my maps where it would take me and it was like round and back. Massive diversion, honestly. And then there was obviously the one before that where you couldn't go on the right side of Loch Oik and you had to go zigzagging like I did into Invergary. And then the one before that, the day before, near Loch Lochy. So, you know, setting people back a bit. You can plan a day, you can plan a day's hike, all well and good, and then you come to a diversion that could possibly set you back an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours even, and you're like, how do I navigate this? You know, like, it wouldn't be an issue if I didn't have to be back on Monday. Like, I've got my train at, I think it's 3:45 p.m. on Monday, so I can have half a day's hike there. Anyway, that's the plan. I'll be at the hostel in about 10 minutes or so. I think in a few videos I've seen a bunch of people have gotten confused and taken that as a high route, whereas just check my map and up there leads you round and back that way. So always look at the signs and check your map before taking wrong turns, which I'm not one to talk, to be honest with you. I daydream and miss turns all the time. Anyway, Drumnadroit, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, Drumnadroit, I think. 9 miles, obviously I'm not going there today. Exciting news! I booked this when I was having a pint at that place. On the last night, so night after tomorrow night, on the last night, on the Sunday, I will be staying in a place called Buntrue, which isn't far from Inverness. Tiny diversion from the path, like a mile from the trail, sorry. And it's in this like vintage mini caravan thing by the sea, so I'm super excited for that. I found it on Airbnb really cheap because I thought I'll camp tomorrow, hostel tonight, camp tomorrow, camped last night, and on my final night I will, don't know, treat myself to this cute little caravan thing. It wasn't too bad actually, it was like 45-50 quid I think, so I'm excited for that. Day after tomorrow, that is. Plundered then, protected now, that says, because early people cleared woodland to create farmland and build their homes. In medieval times, growing towns demanded even more timber, while the busy shipwrights of Inverness also used Great Glen, oak and pine. By the 1800s, yet more trees were felled for industries like leather tanning and iron smelting, which needed large quantities of oak bark and timber. The building of the Caledonian Canal also used up huge amounts of local trees. Indeed, there was so little Great Glen woodland left that the canal builders resorted to importing timber from the Baltic. Wow. Apparently here you can find small patches of surviving native pine wood amongst 20th century conifers. Modern foresters are working to regenerate the Great Glen's ancient woodlands. That word there. Both here and at other places along the Glen, which will also have a positive impact on the local wildlife. Here's some of the local wildlife you can see. Oh, oh my god. In native pine woods you may be lucky enough to spot the pine marten, Scottish crossbills and the black grouse. And found above Altsai is a hoverfly that is so rare that it doesn't even have a common name. Whoa, that's cool. A hoverfly, a rare hoverfly. Have you ever heard of such a thing? Ooh, hang on a second, this is cool. I'm going down there that way, by the way, because that's the Great Glen Way, and then this is just to the hostel. Oh, look at this. I'm not gonna go all the way up, but imagine. Look at how gorgeous that is. Just imagine that. Right, you know what, I'm gonna quickly check it out. Looks cool. So it's a government water treatment place. Very cool. It says strictly no bathing. There's a little barrier here. Oh wow though, look at that. Imagine just like, you know, if it looked nicer, just what a place for somewhere to stay, sleep in. I always think that I get proper imaginative, and I suppose with like, you know, nice whimsical places, and I'm like, imagine staying there or living there or coming on holiday here, because there's just so much potential. And I'm not on about development, I'm on about the odd little hidden shack like that, because obviously keep these places undeveloped, keep them native as they are, you know, with woodlands and everything. But yeah, just the odd little cabin dotted around would be amazing to stay in. Oh wow, now this is in the middle of nowhere. This is what I mean. It's so gorgeous. It's like a bloody Amazon Prime box in the window. wonder how long that caravan's been in there for and why. Just checked in and my room is in an outer building down here somewhere. Oh my god. I don't know why I'm whispering, there's no one here. Let's choose a bed. That is awesome. The view of Loch Ness and everything. Wow. So I've had a hard time choosing which one, and it was mainly out of these four here because obviously the best view, you know, for the morning and everything. And I was like, usually I go maybe bottom bunk, it's just, you know, easier, I can jump in and out, but the view just is better from the top bunks, and I would initially think that one because it's a bit private and I can kind of hide away in the corner, but there's just something about the view from this one. I'll show you the view from this corner one. It's still good, it's still nice, you know, you got the loch, the trees, it's beautiful, and it is private. You know, you can go on your phone, I mean, you can go on your phone on any of them. But this one, even though it is one of the central ones, just, oh, look at that. How nice. It is a creaky one though, it's quite creaky. But I really do like it. So I think I'm gonna choose this one. Get ready and then, you know, get my stuff sorted and unpack the things I need. And then I'm gonna go make some food in the main building, chill out there a bit, do some sketching or writing, and then get a shower and come to bed.
I took in the views of Loch Ness as I headed inside to have some food. I sat in the main dining area looking out to the deep blue twilight of the night over the loch as I ate Highland brie on Scottish oat cakes that I bought from the local shop back in Invermoriston and some white wine from the hostel. I stayed there for a couple of hours writing and sketching before going back to my room. The peace was like no other, and despite the fact that it was nighttime, the bright moonlight lit up the night sky, and with stars and planets still visible. I fell asleep looking out to the views of a moonlit Loch Ness.